here on the Radio Wammo Breakfast, where time now is 8:43.
Woohoo! Yes! Oh-ho-ho! Come on, Wilson, we're going home. Ooh.
Well, I think most of us will probably recognise this ad by now. Of course, it's the lotto ad with the fisherman or sailor who drops his lotto ticket into the water in a storm, and the dog eventually finds it, etc., etc. Well, that took out the Fair Go Ad Awards. Tell us all about this and a whole lot more. It's Vaughn Davis from tgf.co.nz.
Hey, yeah, you can't go wrong with animals and babies.
Yeah, no, you can't.
When it comes to the Fair Go Ad Awards.
No, this ad has always puzzled me. So the bum...
where's the puzzling?
The bum... The bum on the seat where it finally gives the ticket to, that is actually the sailor, because he looks so different to me.
No, it's some other guy.
It is some other guy. Well,
bums on seats. It's all about bums on seats.
That's what I don't get.
No, it's some other guy. See,
I'm annoyed.
The dog's the hero of the story. The sailor was actually sort of unfaithful to his dog. He got, despite the fact that his dog is dead.
The dog jumps off the thing, and how's he meant to go and find the dog?
The dog was a bit mean-spirited, I think.
I think so.
How was the man to know that the dog was still alive? And he lets the cat in and he gives away his $1 million lotto ticket. Crikey. But anyway, the YouTube version, I had no idea. 2.5 minutes of high-definition gorgeousn's. This goes into... this must have been quite the shoot for the crew at DDB.
So this is the one that you'd see at the movies, probably.
Yeah, this is the one you'd see at the Ad Award entry. But absolutely gorgeous, and kids and babies. The one time I came. Oh, sorry, kids and babies, animals and babies.
Yeah.
The one time I came close was the.
Oh look, there's a shot of the Rena.
The Rena, yeah, the generic cargo ship. The image forever tainted, like that Hyundai ad with the container ship. They're not going to run that again. But the Hyundai babies driving, that was a.
I don't think the bum deserved the ticket. Anyway.
Yeah, we could argue this all day.
Yeah. Okay.
So that took out best ad, and this is sort of a barometer of what's popular rather than what's considered cool by advertising agencies for DDB.
What was the worst ad?
The worst ad was venture into big safe furniture.
Oh, this one. Oh, crikey! Here we go.
Yeah.
Big Safe Furniture is New Zealand's biggest furniture seller.
And that my family have 20 stores from Auckland to Invercargill.
And I'm sorry if she's listening or some of her relatives are listening, but she's nasty.
Well, I wouldn't call her nasty.
She's nasty.
I think she's a bit roughly as nutty as a squirrel's poo.
Whoever thought that would make a good ad, a good campaign, and someone that you want to hear every ad break? Well,
she and her father did, because revealed on the Ad Award program last night, which was very, very well done, TVNZ. That was really nice Ad Award show last night. But revealed on the show, she and her father write those ads. So
that's quite obvious.
Who needs professionals? Yeah. But interestingly, as always, we had ads. We had ASB in the best and worst category for their recent campaign. I think the IVF was in the worst, and the little boy with the lamb was in the best. And then, as always happens, and everyone goes, "Oh, I can't understand it." The Sky TV Match Fit campaign, with the
annoying
the drill sergeant was a finalist in both best and worst. But that happens,
best as well.
Yeah, and polarising ads are polarising, and stuff that just sort of washes around in the middle just doesn't really.
How about that ANZ? How would you welcome the World Cup one? That was well overplayed.
Didn't even hit the radar. In fact,
really,
yeah, nothing from Rugby World Cup did. Interestingly.
Yeah.
But, ANZ was...
Because how lame was that campaign?
I thought it was a bit soft. In fact, all the official sponsor stuff was, the Heineken ad, because we had to watch that at the ground. While at the opening, while New Zealand was watching the fireworks, everyone at the stadium was watching the sponsors' ads. So it was a terrible thing from DHL, this horrible thing from, ANZ. It was just disappointing. I'll tell you the worst Rugby World Cup piece of film content, full stop, has got to be the Rugby World Cup UK promo that came at the end of the final. It looked like it had been filmed on a telephone, on a phone. Huh. It was absolutely horrific, and that old it never gets old. The idea of passing the rugby ball from one shot into the next, and the next person's in a different country, and blah blah blah, and then just some really low rent graphics of this ball whooshing around London. It was poor quality stuff.
And of course, the video that went viral straight after the match, of course, was the John Key three-way handshake.
The three-way handshake, yeah, which has been mysteriously pulled from YouTube.
Yes. Now, there's a news article in the Herald this morning saying that the IRB makes no claim to that.
Yeah.
And in fact, anyone can post anything from the Rugby World Cup.
If it's a certain time after the final whistle, who knows? Who knows? Conspiracy theories abound. But, I mean, the IRB's got to be the brand that came out of the whole Rugby World Cup. Worst off.
Yeah.
Just,
but do they care? No.
Well, they probably,
really
probably
care,
don't care.
they?
They're just counting the money,
Yeah.
Anyway.
On to social
The socials.
media. Something called TakeThisLollipop.com.
Yeah, TakeThisLollipop.com. Go on, take it. This is as best I can make out, and I've sort of been reading up on this, a passion project by a guy called Jason Zada, who just woke up, he says, a month ago and said, "Oh, wouldn't it be cool if I sort of freaked people out a bit by demonstrating, what Facebook can really do when you share your personal information."
Yeah.
Now, the benevolent side of this was the Intel Museum of Me. Remember that about 2 months ago, where you put in your information and they'd create this sort of art gallery with pictures of you and your friends and all that sort of thing. Well, Jason has sort of taken a dark take on this and created this really high production values creepy stalker movie using all your Facebook information, so all your photos of you, photos of your friends, pictures you put on your wall and stuff, with this wicked sort of Halloween-themed movie. It's got the badly groomed, sweaty guy with this abandoned tricycle in the corner of his room, which is probably about the creepiest thing. And you appear all through the movie. Really, really well done, and done for no other reason, just to show, to prove that you can. Oh, look, there's you. Did that freak you out, Glenn?
If you're watching the live video stream, so yeah, it's now looking at my Facebook wall.
But really, and his reflection mirrored over it, which is that's some pretty slick rendering, I've got to say.
I don't normally like giving applications access to everything inside Facebook, but I've done it on just this occasion.
Just for you. Look, there's you and your family.
There's me, a head on a plate, there's my cat.
There's your kitten. That's
crikey,
pretty weird.
I don't know what else is going to come up now.
Yeah, and it just carries on right through and gets more and more sort of intimate and personal. I admit I did go through and disable access to my account once I'd watched it, just in case the whole thing's a big joke.
But it's worth doing it once. TakeThisLollipop.com, check it out.
Definitely worth doing. And you can't share it, which is interesting for a viral. You've just got to tell people about it. You've got to share it the old-fashioned way. You can't say, share the video content. It's a one-off.
Yeah. Very cool. All right, well, from social media to aeroplanes.
Yeah, hey, it's crash season. Every year, spring comes, and a couple of things happen in spring. First, bit of context. Most aeroplane crashes in any country, small piston engine aeroplanes flown by visual flight rules, usually with one pilot. So around this time of year, spring happens, right? So you get all these guys who
haven't been flying in the winter.
Didn't go flying in the winter. Their airplanes have been sitting doing not much. They've been sitting doing not much. They're getting their planes, away they go. The weather is not quite perfect, but it's okay.
Yeah.
And you get this rash of crashes around the world, sort of follows spring. So last week we had a fatal in Arrowtown. We had a non-fatal in Queenstown just down the road, which sort of coincidentally there was a civil aviation inspector in an airplane sort of, a kilometre away from the one that crashed. That was okay. And then at the weekend, a Britain-Norman Trilander, which is a rather unusual aeroplane operated by Great Barrier Airlines, went through the fence at Pawanui.
Now, it was on takeoff, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was on takeoff. And a multi-engine airplane, and this is a sweeping statement, there is no excuse for a multi-engine airplane to ever really go through the fence on takeoff, because they sort of run the calculations such that you can always either continue the takeoff with a failed engine, or abandon the takeoff in the runway remaining.
Yeah.
Pawanui is not a very long strip, and a Britain-Norman Trilander is a fairly large aeroplane, unusual aeroplane.
It's got an engine on the what do you call it, the back?
On the fin.
On the fin.
Yeah, an engine on the tail, sort of
tail.
like a baby DC-10. It's a weird, British of course, got to be British.
But people worried. Is this the only airline that goes to the Great Barrier?
No, there are two, and the reason there are two, interestingly, is that Great Barrier Airlines had some, I wouldn't say safety concerns, but the government looked closely at them a little while ago and shut them down for a while they were doing that. Now, this is the airline, you'll remember, that had an airplane fall off in flight. I'll rephrase that. Had an engine fall off in flight a year or two ago.
Yeah.
So the government shut them down. They were investigating them, and while they were investigating them, a competitor came in and provided airline services to Great Barrier. temporarily. However, when Great Barrier came back into operation, the competitor stayed. So now there are 2 airlines operating into Great Barrier. There's Great Barrier Airlines, which just went off the runway in Pauanui, and there's another one I think called Fly My Sky or something like that.
Right.
Yeah. But it would have been interesting to see that great big red 3-engine aeroplane barreling towards the end of your
Yeah, a bit terrifying.
runway.
There was a skate park at the end.
Skate park at the end.
Crikey.
Yeah.
Do we want to finish on that, or I just forgot that we've got this Alf Yourself. Do you want to mention that?
Oh, we sort of jumped around it a little bit. I just wanted to give the context that Jason Zada, the guy that did that crazy lollipop thing,
right.
The last thing he's known for, I'm sure he's done lots of other stuff, he did the Alf Yourself, which is that sort of,
I think every office worker is probably Alf themselves, right?
Addictive but twee Office Max promotion out of the States. So maybe the lollipop thing was an attempt to sort of redeem himself, get a bit of dimension back into his online personality. Oh, one more thing, we'll talk about that Skyhawk, eh?
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah, I do want to mention that. We are skipping around.
MOTAT, the Museum of Transport and Technology in Auckland, has just built a fantastic aircraft hangar out on Miola Road.
Yep.
And its star attraction arrives this weekend, which is one of the ex-Air Force Skyhawks, which they are reassembling in public over the next few days.
Which is funny to think. It was flying not that long ago and now is a museum.
Well, it was a long time ago, actually. I mean, these airplanes from the 1960s, and they flew through to the 1990s, so 30 years of service.
Well, at least one of them was kept serviceable for many years. I don't know which one.
Oh, I think they rotate. I think they dusted them off in turn and flew them just in the hope that that'll kind of remain flyable and saleable. And eventually they've given up on that.
Yeah. So go and watch it be put together this weekend at
That'd be
MOTAT.
interesting for you and me, possibly, and probably for other people out there. But for those of us who do find it interesting, we'll find it very interesting.
Find this as a video once more up at kiwifm.co.nz and also tgf.co.nz. Vaughn Davis also on Twitter. Thanks very much, Vaughn.
Thank you.